Which quarterback is under the most pressure in the AFC West?
I've been begging for this conversation because I've been begging to deliver this truth. It is Justin Herbert. Period. I do not think there is a debate, and I hope to not have to listen to y'all spew ignorance, but I will. It's Herbert. It's this simple. Herbie. In this day and age, quarterbacks got to win immediately. Period. Joe Burrow in 2 seasons took his team to the playoffs. His 2-14 Bengals. Slick, you clearly know you have an affinity for the Bengals. Baker Mayfield took a Cleveland Browns team that was 1-31 to the playoffs after 3 years and won a playoff game. Kyler Murray, the highly disputed Kyler Murray, shows up and within 3 years takes a 3-win Cardinals team to the playoffs, albeit he did not win. Then you got Justin Herbert, who shows up to a fairly talented roster. A team that had been to the playoffs just a couple years prior gets a head coach that's one of the most brilliant minds in all of football. And you were 15 and, 17? Come on now, Justin Herbert. And please don't tell me Joe Burrow has a losing record. Because when you include playoff games, which, by the way, Joe Burrow's been to, all of a sudden Joe Burrow's 12-13 record goes to 15-13 real quick. Whole squad on some real, you know what I'm saying. So when I look at the Cincinnati Bengals and Burrow, when I look at the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler, when I look at the Browns with Baker Mayfield, when I look at all of the young quarterbacks, I didn't even have to mention Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. I didn't have to mention those guys. They're in a league of their own, Lamar Jackson. Justin Herbert is under all the pressure, not just to win in life, but to win right now.
I'm going to say that this is one of these subjects and one of these debates where it's not a I'm right and you're wrong, because I could make a case for all 4 quarterbacks in this division right now
no doubt
having pressure on them. And I'm not going to dispute where you are with Justin Herbert, although that would have been 4th on my list in terms of the ones that I would have made a case for.
That part.
I am going to go with Derek Carr because of what Derek Carr has been given and because of where Derek Carr is contractually. Derek Carr is the Raiders have the option after this season to get out of his contract with only a dead cap of about $5 million. And he now has an embarrassment of riches. He's got Devontae Adams, he's got Darren Waller, he's got Hunter Renfrow. He may have the best receiving core at those 3 positions in all of football. And the one question is Derek Carr good enough? Is he good enough to take this team where they want to go? Still has not won a playoff game, has only appeared in 1. They have the defense now. They have the receiving core. He has everything he needs, and financially, he's on the hook because they can turn the corner and go elsewhere if they decide that Derek Carr is not the guy to get us there. So, Patrick Mahomes, I could make a case for him. Certainly, Russell Wilson showing up in Denver after the way things ended up in Seattle, I could make a case for him. But when I look at where Derek Carr is financially and where the Raiders are and what he has around him, if the Raiders, let's put it this way, if the Raiders don't succeed this season, the number 1 reason is going to be Derek Carr, and he could pay the price financially as a result.
Yeah, I'm with you, Slick. Derek Carr being told on himself. Do y'all remember when the Raiders moved from Oakland to Vegas, and at the time head coach John Gruden found his spot? And guess who moved in right next door? Derek Carr with his apple for the teacher, trying to make sure, hey, we're buddies on the way to the facilities every day. Derek Carr knows with that contract, with that talent, if all things go wrong in Vegas, they're not going to get rid of the whole roster. They're going to look at you because you've been on thin ice for a long time. Let's just be real. Patrick Mahomes is a made man. No matter what Patrick Mahomes goes out there and does, and last year he had this roller coaster ride, regressed in some categories, his worst season as a starter, and still no conversation about Patrick Mahomes. He does that again, there won't be any conversation about Patrick Mahomes. They'll start to say, well, without Tyreek Hill, this offense didn't really support Patrick. I wonder if Andy Reid still has it. Maybe it's time for some new blood, etc. He's a made man with a cushion, and that's a fat mattress. Let's talk about Russell Wilson, a champion who's now coming and hitting a hard reset with a new franchise? Well, it's his first year with our system, and it's a first-year head coach. It takes time for it to gel. If all things go wrong in Denver, it won't land on you, Russell Wilson. Now, everybody knows how much I love Justin Herbert. Herbie, let's talk about why Justin Herbert has a fat mattress as well. I'm going to call it the Aaron Donald effect. Now, I remember Aaron Donald when he was beasting from day one in St. Louis. And no matter what they went through as the Rams were struggling, 8-8 is great, 8-8 is great, no one looked at Aaron Donald. One, because of position, and two, you knew how good he was. It ain't his fault. Like Master P and Mystical said, ain't my fault. Did I do that? So look, Justin Herbert, sing that song, brother. No matter what goes on in L.A. with the Chargers, because the first year he started, O-line. Then they addressed it in the draft when got Slater and them boys. Them boys good up front now. But the second year, somehow, some way, the defense didn't show up like we thought. So now they addressed that. Oh, my God. We got J.C. Jackson, all these guys. We're ready on defense now. We got Khalil Mack. Now, if things go wrong, they're not going to look at potentially the top 5 quarterback with a phenomenal future who, in this category of all the AFC West quarterbacks, let him in yards per game, let him in passing touchdowns, let him in total touchdowns. Oh, he got a fat mattress as well. But we know Derek Carr is sitting there sleeping on thin ice.
Fellas, I love your points. I love your points. I love this dialogue. Let me very quickly explain why Justin Herbert is under the most pressure. I will very quickly explain why Herbert's under the most pressure, and it'll be done in a talk-back style. Slick Rick, is Patrick Mahomes a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes is, in fact, a Hall of Famer, and he proved that he was a Hall of Famer within his first 3 years. Marcellus Wiley would most say that Russell Wilson is a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Russell Wilson is a Hall of Famer, and Russell Wilson accomplished his Hall of Fame status, if we are being honest, within his first 3 years, 2 Super Bowls. Derek Carr is not a Hall of Famer as it stands right now, and Derek Carr had the opportunity early on in his career, MVP votes, but did not get a MVP. Justin Herbert, you're going on year 3. Within 3 years, Patrick Mahomes established he was a Hall of Famer. Within 3 years, Russell Wilson established he was a Hall of Famer. Now it's time for the 3rd year of Justin Herbert. There's a whole bunch of ways. Is Justin Herbert great collectively, or is Justin Herbert just an individual talent? That's what I'm looking at. After 3 years, if Herbert can't even get to a playoff game, I got questions, Sal. Patrick Mahomes, MVP, playoffs. Lamar Jackson, MVP. Josh Allen, second in MVP. I just got questions about Herbert if he doesn't get something done within them first 3 years.
The hell? Russell Wilson was not a Hall of Famer in his first 3 years.
He established it.
No, he didn't.
He went to 2 Super Bowls and won one.
And he wasn't the reason.
Without those Super Bowls, he's not a Hall of Famer. It was established in the first 3 years.
They actually lost a Super Bowl because of one player, one play. But he went. I can't think of another player that. Yeah, well, I actually can. Scott Norwood. All right, other than that, wide right. What other quarterback has ever, you say, one player on him? Russell Wilson was in conversations and arguments of, were you even a part of the team or did it contribute?
Sure.
Yes.
But those 3 years did it.
No, I think what you saw from Russell Wilson was his individual greatness later that, we can couple that when you taking the ride with the defense and running game, but I digress. Let's just say this. It got to be Derek Carr. Like, we ain't got to argue over everything, do we? Like, Justin Herbert is so good. Justin Herbert right now has a better chance of making the Hall of Fame than Derek Carr. In 2 years, he literally set the NFL record for quarterbacks in his first 2 years in yards and touchdowns. Like, he has a better chance of being in the Hall of Fame right now, to your argument. But Derek Carr, man, I just see how he could fall out there in Vegas. It could happen fast. He could roll craps, and it's a wrap.